Guys, welcome to the Merry Boozers RC channel. Today we have one of the most perfect beginner-friendly airplanes out there. You guys that have seen us do the Apprentice, that is also a fantastic first airplane, but the AeroScout also makes a fantastic airplane, so you can have a choice. The AeroScout is a 1.1 meter RC airplane. It comes ready to fly as we have it here, or you can get it as a bind and fly and program it to your favorite Spektrum G2 transmitter. Some of the tools we're going to be using today, we have our E-flite screwdriver set. This will be linked down in the description. We use it in all of our different videos. And we're also going to be using our Ernst airplane stand. If you would like to get one of these, we also have them linked down in the description. Both are optional parts, but we highly recommend you getting one of these stands if you're new to the hobby. It really makes putting one of these together easy. And without further ado, let's get this thing out of the box and start showing you around. All right, guys, we got our AeroScout all out of the box and laid out here on the table. Love the colors. That orange and white is going to be super easy to see in the air. First thing you need to do when you get your new airplane is go on and take your included S120 charger and your included smart battery. Plug this into any open USB port you have. You want to try and go for a USB 2.0 because it'll charge faster, and get your battery charging. This is going to take you about 2 to 3 hours to charge this battery, so go on and plug that in right off the bat and let it set while it's doing. One upgrade you can do, and the upgrade I would recommend right out of the box for this, is go on and order you one of these S150 chargers. This charger will allow you to plug it right into the wall, no USB needed, and you'll be able to charge at a solid 2 amps, which is what you actually want to charge your 2200 at. So let you charge your battery in about an hour. This little smart charger's under 50 bucks, so I really do recommend making that upgrade right out of the box. But for the time being, I'm going to set that off to the side. Go on and plug your battery in while you're building so it can be charged by the time we're done and you're ready to start. First thing we want to do is we're going to go on and take the prop off. If you'll hold the motor and turn the prop, it will spin off. You're going to spin it to the right. It's counterclockwise, so righty-loosey, lefty-tighty on this, on the prop. That way when it's running, it tightens itself. We're going to go and take the prop off right off the bat so we don't get hurt if we were to power on the model and that starts spinning for any reason. First step in our instructions are to put our main wheels on. In order to do that, we're going to just flip it over. These are real simple. They just clip in. So we're going to take our wheels. I'm going to make sure that there's not a left and a right because this is my first time seeing them. They are both the exact same. You're going to take, and they should just slide and clip in from what the instructions are saying. Like that. And this one should slide until you hear a click. Just like so. Next step in the process is to put our nose wheel on. Our nose wheel is going to go on up here. Now, it won't fit right out of the box because you got to loosen it up. So get you a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, which I do not have one in front of me. Yes, I do. Here's one. I grabbed the number 1 on accident. There it is. Number 2, we're going to loosen this little collet off a little bit. On your wheel itself, there is actually a little dent, which I know you're not going to be able to see it from back there probably, but there's a little dent knocked out on this. That dent is going to face towards the screw. So whenever you screw the screw in, it's going to go into that little hole. And that is what's going to keep it from turning. Now this model is made to where you can leave the wheels off and hand launch it, or we can put our wheels on. I'm going to go on and put mine on. And it was that simple, guys. There's our wheels installed on the airplane. Now we can flip it over, set it in our stand. Next step is to put our elevator on. I'm going to reach around here and grab my elevator halves. Super simple again, guys. This airplane is made to be really easy for you guys. You're going to take your smaller of your 2 carbon spars, slide that in here. We're going to test fit everything before we push it in. Never a bad idea, guys. Go on and test fit and make sure your spars all fit. And they do. And they should just push and click. I'm going to make sure, push and click. It must go up. You want your decals going up. It's tight. Let's see here. It's just a little tight, guys. I'm gonna get that started. There we go. It was just a little tight. There we go. It is a full flying stab on this airplane, so the way you go up and down is the whole stabilizer moves on this airplane. I don't know if you can see that, but that's how that works. They're just a friction fit, and that's fine. All right, guys, give me a second to kind of rearrange, and we will be back with you momentarily. All right, guys, so we've got our elevator put on, and now we need to do our wing. So you're going to take your two wing halves, make sure your little tab wire is out and facing down. We're going to take our bigger of the two carbon spars, slide that in until it seats, and it's seated. Same thing, check our other wing, make sure our little tab is hanging out, clip them together. Now at this point, you need to make sure you line everything up, and you need the little wires hanging out, and then there's two plastic pieces in the back that go in. Once you get it all right, as you see, everything's seated and up there as it should be. Same this way, seated as it should be. We're gonna hold the wing like this, reach in with two fingers. Always easier to do this with a helper, guys, but not necessary. Yellow goes to white, white to yellow. In RC airplanes, you're going to run into these connectors from time to time that are different colors. Remember that white and yellow are always connected to each other, or yellow to yellow, or white to white. If you keep that in your mind, you'll never go wrong. But in this case, it's white to yellow. Now, we're going to take that little thing. We're going to kind of put it in here where it's out of the way of everything. We don't want those wires hitting anything. And tuck it all in. Now, I know it says to go on and screw the wing on at this point, but what I will tell you to do is first is let's power it on and make sure everything's working correctly, just in case we need to get back in there and do a rebind. Give us a second to reset. All right, guys, your model should come bound out of the box, but in case it doesn't, I want to show you how to do this. So, DXS transmitter off. Wing unattached to the airplane. This is why we wait until we powered it on our first time to find out if this is right or not. Prop off. I'm going to plug the model in. I'm going to reach in and push the Spektrum logo on the top of the satellite receiver. And as you can see, it will start to blink. That tells us we're in bind mode. I'm going to set the airplane still, pick up my transmitter and hold the bind button on the top and turn the transmitter on. Binding, let go, and as you see, it bound up. So the reason I waited to put the wing on until now is now we know this is bound up. So let's test everything while the wing's still loose, because if our ailerons aren't working, now's the time to fix them. So left, right, and they are working. So we know that our connections are good. They're both going the right direction. Let's go on and check our tail. Up, down, left, right. And then we also have 3-position switch. So now we're actually in AS3X mode. So now that we know everything's working, we can put our wing on. So when you put your wing on, be very careful to get all the wires down inside the airplane and not being pinched. You need to be real careful with that. If you pinch one of them, that can be a no-no. You could hurt the airplane. But there you go.
The first mode you had it in was safe.
Right.
The second one was AS3X.
So Papa's leaning over right now. We have safe AS3X modes on the transmitter, and we're going to go over these a little more in depth after we get this finished putting together. But what I've done is I flipped my B switch into position 2, and that takes us out of safe mode so that I can actually test my full travels. And as you can see, up is up, down is down, left, right, it all works. So I'm going to power this off. We can just stay on here together, guys. I'm going to unpower the model. And now we need to put our wing screws in. So there are 3 of these in the kit. They look like this right here. one right in the back. And you got to make sure everything's hitting here. I don't think I am. There it is. Once you find it, they're going to slide way down in there. Now, don't tighten them all up right off the bat. You want to get them all in. It's the challenge of this. You want to get them all in first, like that, and now start tightening them up. If you tighten them up first without getting them all in there, you may not hit one of them. So, there we go. And don't go crazy with these. Just use your fingers, guys. Once your 2 fingers are tight, that's tight enough. Don't forget, it's foam. You don't need to get no wrenches out and go to tightening on this thing like crazy. As you can see, that is on there. That wing's not going to come off now. We put that back in there. And that's it. It's put together. Now, we're going to leave the prop off while we go over all the different modes, because while you have the airplane on a bench, it's always best to just leave that propeller off. It just takes a few seconds to unscrew it, and you're not going to end up flying the airplane across the room or hitting yourself with that prop and getting hurt. But we're going to put this thing on the bench now, and we're going to go through all the different flight modes. All right, guys, so we've got our airplane put together now. Now it's time to start getting ready for flight. What we did, and what we do in a lot of them, is we have this little shelf material that we get from the dollar store. It comes in a big roll. It's a rubbery shelf material. So the airplane comes with Velcro. If you want to use the Velcro, you are more than welcome to put it on your battery and put it in here. But we have so many airplanes and batteries, we use the shelf liner, and this super smooth battery actually sticks really well to that shelf liner. So let's go on and get our battery put in, and I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's installed in the airplane. Set that in there, tape it down nice and tight. As you can see, that battery can't slide when it's sitting on that shelf liner. I can actually hold the whole airplane or drop it on my head. I can hold the whole airplane from that battery and it doesn't move. So at this point, we can set the airplane down. You always turn your radio on before turning on your airplane. So we're going to turn our radio on. Y'all saw us bounded a minute ago. Now we can plug it in and start testing all our control surfaces. When you plug it in, you should see the safe dance. So you'll see it dance twice. That tells you that it's in safe mode and AS3X. Now, we can put our little canopy on. Got the battery too far forward, it won't go in there. And gotta get your battery just right so the hatch will go in around the battery. There it is right there. So now it's time to start checking our airplane. So the first thing you want to do is always look at it from the back. I'm going to do it the other way so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But if I go to the left on my rudder, you'll see a left deflection on the rudder. Right, and we'll see the right deflection on the rudder. Now the nose wheel will go the opposite direction of the rudder whenever you're doing this. So when I go to the right, you can see that the airplane would go to the right. When I go to the left, you can see the airplane would go to the left. Next thing to check is our elevator. So once again, standing behind the airplane looking at it, as y'all are right now, if you were to pull up, you want to see that elevator go up. When we push down, we want to see the elevator go down. All right, so that's correct. Next thing to check is our ailerons. When I push it to the left, you should see the left aileron go up, the right aileron go down. When I push it to the right, you should see the right aileron go up and the left aileron go down. All of our controls are working the correct directions. So, I tested all of that in position 2 of my B switch. Now, if I go to position 0, this should be safe mode. Now, for test and safe mode, as we pick it up, the elevator will start to deflect upwards as the nose goes down. This is probably going to be a little hard to see, guys. But as it starts to climb, you should see the elevator now starting to put down elevator into it to try and level the airplane back out. As we start to turn the airplane to one side or the other, if this wing descends, you should start seeing it try to correct. As you can see, the aileron deflects down, which would be pushing this wing back up like that. As I lift it, you should see it deflect upwards in order to deflect it back down. This is also correct.
Let me zoom in.
Let me zoom in. Okay, I'm gonna try and hold this steady for him. He's gonna zoom in and try and show you.
I don't know if they can see it or not, but we're gonna zoom in on the right aileron.
So as I lift this up, guys, you should start to see the deflection. It's very small up until we get to pretty severe. Same thing, if I go this way, it should go downward.
Yeah, okay.
And it does.
Now the tail.
All right, let me try and hold it in the same spot for you.
Okay.
So as I start to descend, I should start seeing that elevator move upward.
Yeah, that's it.
As it starts to climb, it'll start putting down into it. All right, and that's how you know your safe is working. The last thing to check is our throttle and our throttle cut. Throttle is on. If we flip switch H, our throttle cut should be active now, and it is. As you see, as I move my stick, nothing happens. So if I flip it again, give it a little throttle, I can see which way it's spinning. It's spinning the correct way. That's what we want. So at this point, guys, everything is set up on this airplane and ready to fly. Make sure you charge up your flight pack, and then we'll see you in the next video of the Merry Boozers, where we take this out to the flying field and we fly this airplane. If you've decided to get one of these as your first model, please make sure to use our link down in the description of this video. We are Horizon Hobby affiliates. If you use our link that's down in the description of this video, we get a little cut of that commission, and it tells Horizon that you're getting the airplanes because of us. If you've enjoyed the content, please make sure you subscribe to the Merry Boozers channel. There's a button in one of these corners. I can never remember where it is. And if you want some of our sweet Merry Boozer merch, that's also linked down in the description. So without further ado, guys, we're going to see you back at the flying field shortly in our next video of the Merry Boozers, where we get this airplane out and we fly it for you. Like always, guys, get out there and fly with your friends. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.